Gaeten, we know each other, I think, just really through self-perfected group, really through the Zoom meetings that we have, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I know a lot of people don't know you. I probably don't know a lot about you either, except for from our group. So why don't you just start off and tell me a bit about yourself, and we can go from there. Have a conversation.
So 14th of December 1991, I was born. That was very right from my birthday. So yeah, my name is Gaeten Esseko. I'm African. I'm Beninese. Benin is in West Africa, near to Nigeria and the Ghana, for those who know that place, that geography of the world. I live in Canada. I'm a father of two children. Have a third one on the way. Um, my What do I do for a living? I help people build or achieve financial freedom through education because I have a purpose, which is equalizing education in the world, making sure that um, the inequality that we can see in the system right now is solved. So then we can sort the world out and make sure we have the best place to live, right? So that we can leave the world a much better. I can leave the world a much better place than what it was when I came in. So that's me. If you have any question, any direction, we can dive into. But that's all I can say for now to kind of introduce myself.
Okay, well, perfect. So I guess really the big thing is like, what got you into self-perfected? How did you end up there? Because there's so many groups out there, offering help and support and growth, right? So how did you get there?
Okay, so when where should I start? So in 2012, I was in Benin. So I came in Canada like 5 years ago. I came in Canada in 2020. But in 2012, I started my journey in I should say 2009, 2009. 2009, I started my journey in the self-development area when I viewed this movie that you may be familiar with, and most of the people that will view this or watch this will be familiar with. Probably, I think, is The Secret by Rhonda Burns, right?
Mhm.
So I was young. Well, I'm still young, I think, but I was younger when I've somebody showed me this movie, and then I watched it. I'm like, so so you mean I have a mind, and I can, there's something called laws of attraction, and with the law of attraction, I can attract things and blah blah blah. So I started playing with this concept, and yeah, it was just kind of a game, and really, I didn't find get any result really, but in 2012, when I was doing an internship and I had access to internet, in that internship in Benin, so in my country, most of the places does not have access to internet, but in that specific place that I was doing my internship, which is the bank, I had access to internet, and there I started listening to uh, different. I re-listened to that whole documentary of The Secret again, and I started listening to audiobooks on the topic, and then it just throw me deep into the subject of law of attraction. That was the thing, and then um, I started digging, doing more research. Then I heard of the power of now. I don't know. I listen to most of those things in French, so I don't know actually the trans. I'm translating, but obviously those books have names, have title in English too. But it's like the power of the present moment by Eckhart Tolle. That was one book that really struck me. Uh, and other books too, like Ask and It Will Be Given by Abraham Hicks. And so I started really listening to those things, and that was very new information for me. Has never been exposed to those type of information before. So it sparkled my attention on, okay, so I can actually change the way I think, and it can have an effect on my life. Like, I'm not just okay, God ordained and God decide my life, and that's it. I can do anything about it. I will just be following the script, and that's it. No, actually, I can write the script. I have some level of power over my life. So I start having that way of thinking. So on that journey, I have been in part of different groups, some not really officially, but I have been listening to informations coming from those type of group. One of them is the Global Information Network. And I started listening to information from that group back in 2012, and reading books that was recommended by the guy that was uh, uh, running that group. His name was Kevin Trudeau. So I listened to tons of audios, thousands of times, and I can say that I learned a lot of good stuff from there on. I learned a lot of good stuff. Then I came in Canada, and I have actually very, very good stories behind how, where I was when I started listening to self-improvement stuff, reading books about self-improvement, what I did, and what has been the result. And I can say that all of that is the compound effect of that is me actually living in Canada. Like, if I think back to when I started on self-improvement, I didn't think I would one day be in Canada, because I never had the project to come in Canada, right? What actually happened is, when I was listening to those audios, they say you can create your goal. You can write down a goal. It will be your goal, and you focus on it, and you make sure it happens. And I'm like, okay, actually, I want to meet this speaker. That is my goal. That is the highest goal that I can set up for myself. I want to go and meet this speaker and greet him, because at some point he went to prison. He had been jailed for something. I won't get into the story of that, but yes, he was in jail. And I'm like, this guy taught me so much that I actually want to give him a hug. So my goal, my purpose is to be, when he will be getting out of jail, I want to be there. You know, and I know he's an American citizen, and then he is living in United States. So I have to be in the United States. That's where the goal of going to United States came in. But it was not a goal like, oh, I set up this goal, so now I'm looking at my plans. How can I get there? No, there is no way for me, because if you are beginners and you want to go to United States, you have to either have a very high degree, or you have to, and that will get you to a job, or you have tons of money, or your parents are rich, very rich. So those are all the options, and I don't fall in any of those categories, right? So all I knew is I have big pictures of that person, and in his environment, have pictures of them that I grew them to my how do you call it, to the ceiling. So when I'm sleeping, when I wake up in the morning, that's the first thing that I see, right? So I was focusing on that, kind of using the power of love attraction to manifest, right? So that was my purpose. So at some point, I just drop it, forget about it, start focusing on something else. It's like it will never happen. Okay. So I start living my life. But what happened is I end up getting in a relationship with my wife, my actual wife. And she is Canadian, right? So I already forgot completely that I had that goal. One day I had that goal, but wait, we end up getting married, and here I am. So if I want to meet that person, now I can. You know, it brings me very close to that goal that I set up like in 2012, and I didn't really make a plan for it to happen. So maybe it worked, right? And
Yeah.
maybe it didn't work. I don't know. Maybe it's just a how do you say, coincidence in English? I don't even know the word for it.
Yeah,
But
coincidence.
coincidence.
Yes.
Maybe it's just a coincidence. Some people would say, "Oh, that's a coincidence." But one thing is sure, it's certain. I had a goal,
Mm.
and everything that fall from there have been in alignment with that goal. So obviously, it built my confidence in that type of information that can be viewed as not very common for people to think that way. So when I came here, I started wanting to have more relationship with people in that specific group. Then I met Mitchell, and Mitchell is the founder of is one of the founders of Self Perfected,
Mm-hmm.
and he showed me how I can actually take my self improvement journey to a whole different level, and that's how I get into it. I have been invited by Mitchell, and I was like, okay, so I can move from self improvement, because self improvement is like you never finish it, and you're always improving, as if the journey has no end point, but actually you can take it to the next level, which is self perfection. And in the journey of self perfection, you are actually doing everything to the best of your ability, instead of just wanting to improve just a little bit more. Now you are holding yourself to a whole different standard. And I really like that concept. And that's how I get into uh, self perfected. Does that answer your question?
Oh, that's amazing. And to think that you never thought that you would get like even to Canada, and then here you are, right? So, and now you can just go across the border and go to the States, yes?
Yes, I've been in the United States multiple times before, and I I just didn't really go and meet Kevin Trudeau as I said I would. But if I wanted, I would. Just not part of my priority right now. But yes,
Right.
that that goal became reality. It's like they say, shoot for the moon, and if you fail, you will end up in the stars. I don't know if the saying is the same in English. I just translate from French to English, but yes, that's basically it. My goal was to meet Kevin Trudeau. Here I am, very close to where he lives, but I don't see the point of meeting him really, because I'm not that much on following a leader or something. But yeah, back in the days, that was the goal. Here I
Oh,
am.
great. So, I mean, you mentioned a little bit how you've had a different change, I guess, in perspective from just doing self improvement to now what self perfection is. Um, has it made a bigger difference in your life from just doing self improvement work? Have you noticed a big
Yeah,
difference?
yeah. I would say the big difference is stopping hope. Self improvement have a component of hope attached to it, as if you maximize the hope, like you make the hope real by really saying, yes, if I think of it enough, if I visualize it enough, eventually it will come. That's the concept of self-improvement. Like, it will come. It's like faith. It's like trust um universe, trust God, trust something that is outside of your power, and you can influence that thing by thinking about it. It's the exact same concept as pray to God. And you can't really control God, but if you pray to him strong enough and you believe him, he might listen to your prayers and change things for you. And
Mm.
self-improvement is not really different from that. Yes, you do in the morning, maybe learn how to manage more your time, and you maybe work out, and but you still have this component of be positive, think positive, and avoid the negative thought. Because if you think something negative, it might happen. You don't want that, right? No, you don't want that. So stay positive, keep hope. You see that area where you are not really taking responsibility to deal with your own Like, why do you have the negative thought in the first place? Like, that part is not really addressed in self-improvement. And I say I'm invited a lot of trouble by saying this, because a lot of people are saying, no, in the self-improvement you do have NLPs, you do have the TFT tapping techniques, you do have different techniques to get rid of the traumas and all of that. But you will agree with me that you still have a component of hope into it. You should have a component of trust into it, where you are not 100% trusting yourself. You are also trusting something that is not you. And the video just went for. Are you with me? You hearing me?
I can hear you. Yeah, you're back now. I could
Okay.
still hear you, yes, but now you're see you again.
Okay, perfect. So you still have this component of hope into it. So what happened is you are still playing in the confinement of your pre-programming, even though you are doing self-improvement. Like, in the confinement of your pre-programming, you can get the most out of it with self-improvement. You can only go so much farther. But with self-perfection, the difference is you are really changing your pre-programming. Like, you are changing your programming, so then you can do something that you would never have done before. Let me give you an example. Okay. Me, okay, I'm not rich, I'm not part of elite group. I don't like reading that much. When I was doing self-improvement, I can listen to audios, and that's all I can do. I can't really read. Like, I mean, if you give me a book and you say, read this phrase for me, of course I can sound it out, right? But I couldn't, like, just take a book and read it all from the beginning to the end, process everything in it, and go act upon it. No, it is not my pre-programming. The way that I have been educated, I prefer listening to audios than reading. And self-improvement would never address that. It would not address that. All I can do is listen to audios and try to read, but I really can't really, let's say, improve how my WPM, so how many words I read per minute. I can't really increase that, and I can't really increase my ability to process the information. I can't do that with just self-improvement through just listening to audios, right? But in self-perfection, anything that you do, you have to do it to the best possible. So you have to train yourself to do it to the best possible. Like, so reading book, I'm just doing thumbs up to my wife. She's going to bed now, so I'm just, yeah. Okay. So let's say reading, for instance, right? With self-improvement, you will force yourself to read in the confinement of how you can read, and you can see that you don't process that much. So you will, use your dictionary to maybe help you a little bit. That's all you can do. But with self-perfection, you will have to become the best reader. So you have to work to become the best reader, because you can change your programming. It is possible to change your programming. So you have tools that will actually, it is as if you open yourself and change the programming inside of yourself in a way that now you are calibrated to do these things to the best, at the best level that you can. So, for instance, if you are working at a job, you will be the best at that job. You will do that job better than anyone. That will be the best expression of yourself in that job, for instance. So it's like you are cooking a meal, and you want to make this meal the best meal possible. That's the difference between self-improvement and self-perfection, right? You are being the best version of yourself at every single breath. It does not mean that if you are not doing that, you are a bad person. No, but that is the purpose. That is the goal.
Mm.
You see, that is the you want to be the best expression of yourself that you can be. It's different from I want to improve my life.
Right.
I want to improve my life. I want to improve my life. But here you want to be the best possible expression of
Mm.
yourself that you can be. Now, the answer, I feel like I didn't answer the question because you see, you ask if I have seen a difference in the result in my life. And yes, 100%. Because I went from being a janitor earning less than 40K a year,
Hmm.
right? And in like 6 months to become to get into a sales job, for instance, just to give an example, get into a sales job and be top one in the country, part of the top one in the country.
Wow.
I was janitor, and and
Right.
and, and here I am among the top salesperson in that company. And now I have my own company where I'm really improving people's lives. So you see the jump? That's self perfection right there.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. And you did that in 6 months, you said?
Six
6 months?
months. Yes. Like okay, so in at
Wow.
the 6th month, I was not the top salesman of the company, obviously, but I was in that company. Like
Right.
I went from sales, not the salesperson, never been a salesperson before, just a janitor. Like I'm a janitor, right? I'm a janitor, and I couldn't speak English. Like I was zero English speaker,
Okay.
right? I was zero English speaker. I'm talking in 2021, in June 20, in July 2021, I get into self perfected. In July
Mhm.
2021, I was zero English speaker, and from July 2021 to February 2022, I'm working in this company that require a good English to work there.
Wow.
You see, so
Amazing.
that is the result. That is one of the results.
Right. That's amazing. So, I mean, you show that you can do these things in such a short period of time, whereas before you were like having a hard time even reading well, right? And now you're learning a language in and becoming a top salesperson in a company.
And
And you,
I can go on also in parenting, for instance. In parenting,
mm,
the way I'm parenting my children right now, I could never even dream of that it is possible to parent my kids like that. Specifically, if you like me, you come from a family where your father and your mother split up when you were 6 months old, and your father married another woman that was beating the hell out of you. Like I
mm,
suffered that through my infancy. My stepmom will really beat me, like really harm me. Even I still have scars in my back from all the violence that I suffered from in my childhood, and not having food at the right time, and all of that hardship that I suffered from is traumas, right, inside of me. I
mm.
could transmit all of that to my children, right?
Wow.
I
Yeah.
could, but because I'm in this process, because I'm in perfected, and because I have access to certain tools that I'm using, I am having a totally different approach in my parenting. And you would meet my children one day, and you will see Katrina. They are amazing. My kids are amazing, and there are so many different things that I can share about them. But that is possible because I'm in self perfection. I'm not in self improvement. Not to belittle self improvement, but yeah, it's a different game. It's a different league. It's not the same thing at all.
Wow. And to think it's you know self improvement. You're right. It's not to disregard it, belittle it or anything, because for I think many of us, that's how we got here, right? There was something more we wanted, and our step into that was into self-improvement, reading the books, watching the movies, listening to the audios, because that's maybe what we had available to us, right? So I think that for many of us is how we kind of started down that path, because we knew there was something more and better that we wanted, and we were trying to figure out how to get there. So, and so now you're here where you are doing self-perfected work, realizing there's a big difference from where you were doing self-improvement work. And you're now saying that you can be this parent that you never could have been before the work. And your kids are little still, right? They're 3 years old or something?
At 3.5, I have two children. One of them is the older one is 3.5, and the second one is 23 months old.
Wow. Cute ages. Lots of energy, I'm sure. And so when you have all this energy and you have these children and now you have these tools, you how are you responding? Like you said, you were being a different parent that you never could be. Like what does that look like in how you respond with your children?
Okay, yeah. So let me give you an example. Okay, the other day, like few months ago. So these stories go back to a few months ago. I think he was 2.5 back then, and I even made a post about it on Facebook. But I think the reason why this comes to my mind right when you ask the question is because Vianney, which is one of the member of the Perfected, he posted about it the other day. So it just come back to my head. Basically, I was in front of my son, and then I sat like, and I said something like "damn," like I cursed, right? And he was right in front of me. He was 2.5, and then he's like, "Is everything all right, Daddy?" I'm like, "Yes," and he said, "You cursed," and I said, "Yes, I'm trying to, do this thing, and I'm not saying the point of it, and it just get me frustrated a little bit, and then I cursed." He's like, "You didn't breathe, did you?" I said, "No, I have not breathed. breathe." And he said, "You should breathe, Papa. You should. You want me to help you?" And then I was like, "Yeah." And then he comes. I take him to my arm, and we breathe together. And this is my 2.5 years old, supporting me to calm down when I'm going out of my mind. So how is that possible? It is possible because he is the reflection of what I used to do with him. When he's getting into tantrums, emotional reaction, you see hearing me?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, yeah, the kids are just sponges. They pick up what's around them, right? So if they have a positive influence showing them this is a better way to behave, they pick those things up. And, if you didn't have those tools, you would probably behave in a different manner, maybe, screaming, yelling, throwing things, whatever it might be. And that's how he would pick up the behavior as well, and how he would respond if he was having, a frustration about something, right?
Exactly. And one thing that in my process I notice a lot is the pulse. I don't know if that's the right pronunciation of this word. It's Pulse. You know, Pulse. How do you pronounce that? Pulse?
Oh, pulse.
Pulse, yes.
Pulse.
So what I noticed is a lot of people are not aware of the pulse, like what the when you are triggered, like inside of yourself, what's get triggered, like the physical point that get triggered inside of you, right? So those points, you get to know them very specifically when you are in the process of self-perfection, like when you are using the tools and when you are to walk in your process, you get to know yourself so much that you can see the violence, the point in you that trigger violence, for instance, will get triggered inside of you. So with my son, he will be doing something, and those points will be triggered inside of me, and I can see me. I can see the pre-programmed um, let's say vibration or pre-programmed instinctive action that I would do if I would follow my program, which is hitting, or screaming or doing something, right? And I would see them come in me in slow motion. And then I would trap them and I would breathe and run myself in my body and do what is best for my kids in the moment. Because I am here, I am centered, instead of just following the burst. And that's what all the parents, most of the parents outside of our community, that's what most of the parents does. They're like, okay, they will suppress the purse. Like the purse will come, they will, okay, I shouldn't do this. But they are not processing it. They keep it, they keep it, they keep it, and at some point they explode. And when they do that, that's where the punishment comes in. That's where the yelling comes in. That's where the take the toys away comes in. And when they do those things, the kids do not get to learn how to face their own emotions. So when they get overwhelmed, when they get into that state, they are not going to the parents to breathe or to calm down. No, they are throwing stuff away. They are screaming. They are yelling. They are doing the bacon, like they said. That thing is just a reflection of the parents yelling, taking the toys away, trying to punish them. Like, I will make you suffer because I am angry. I will make you suffer because I can't face my emotions. I will make you suffer because I am unstable. That is what the parents used to do. But when you get into the process of self perfection and you want to perfect your parenting, you have to face your own shit. And when you are facing your own shit and you learn how you deal with your own shit and you understand all the pressure that is coming from above, from the money system, and all the stress that you have at your job and all the thought that is there and that is making you feel like I don't have the time to slow down to take care of my children. I don't have the patience to do this. I suffer in my job for like 8 hours. Don't you effing uh, 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 put me in this emotional situation that is challenging. I will yell at you. I will even hit you. When you are dealing with your own shit, you don't take that road because now you slow down and you can see, oh, if I follow this pulse, which is the pre-programmed reaction, I will end up screwing my child up. So I should slow down. So the 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 the, the the way that I'm using. That's come from the self perfection.
That's actually really powerful to hear that, that you're able to take these tools and use them in a whole different way for parenting than you've even known, but also to have your children respond in a way that is reflecting that it's working, right? It's very powerful to hear that because you hear people. I mean, I'm in the group and I see it, right? But people will hear people talk about how their children are different and they do these different things, and people will think, yeah, sure, that doesn't work, right? But when you can actually see the difference that and how your child behaves, because it's a reflection of how you are and how you behave, that's very powerful.
Yes, it is, and that's how you see that you can really actually change humanity. Like you can, people say you can't change human nature. Sure, you can. Like you really can. And parents are the keys to changing human nature, right? Like if the parent decide to work on himself, to change his own nature, to switch from survival to living, like to make the switch. I stop trying to survive the moment by suppressing, by coping, by doing everything that I can do to avoid facing the moment. That is survive. That is surviving, right? That's the definition of surviving. Right? Surviving is something is happening and you're just trying to go away or not face it or punish to stop it. Instead of doing any of that, living in the moment, which is grounding yourself in your body, breathing, and look at the situation and do what is best in the moment, which is the actual definition of living. Like if the parents switch from survival to living, then you are having a powerful effect on the children, on the kid. And now the kids pick on that example and like, oh, I don't run away from conflict. Conflict. I face it. I deal with it. I do what is best, no matter how I feel, and I stand by principle. And the kids start learning that. And now you have a whole bunch of kids doing that. When they grow up, they stop the generational, consequences that we are in right now that is just unfolding. So we can actually change human nature like that. But we have to have the education, the tools, and the right community for that. Yeah. And yes, you're right. It's really powerful.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, I I don't think I know very many people who I would say have perfect childhoods or perfect parents, right? Everybody I know has some sort of issue, some sort of thing that was not great in their experience. And it may not be that their experience growing up was terrible, but they look back on it and they go, well, I wish my parents had done this, or I wish I had known this, or something like that, because there was something missing for them. And it was really all their parents could do, was the only thing that they knew was what they had seen from their parents. And nobody taught them how to be different or how to communicate differently, or, that there was even a gap in what they were doing. They just thought, well, this is what you do, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like that's the point. Like the parents, they had the best intention in their mind, but from the environment, from the pressure that they are feeling from, for instance, my father did his best. He did his best, right? But he has this pressure of the money system, and and if we talk more, we're talking more, you will see me bringing in the money system because it's not a separate component. They have to survive, right? The parents have to survive. They have to bring money home. And based on what job they have, how stressful the job is, what they have to accept and allow in order to keep going to that job and keep having a better position, and the fear they have for their children. Like, oh, if my kid's not doing well at school, he will not have a job and he may end up in the street. So I don't want that. So how do I prevent that? I don't know. So maybe if I yell, he will listen to me. If I speak louder, he will listen to me. Maybe if I spank him, he will be afraid of doing that thing and not end in that position. So they're just trying, how can I make sure he understands life? But the problem is the parents too didn't understand life. They did understand survival, but they didn't understand life, right? So they are just trying to teach the kid how to survive in the world and trying to teach it through fear. So they will use two main things. They will use punishment and they will use a reward, right?
Right.
But when you think about it, punishment is like holding somebody hostage, right? And say, if you don't do this, like somebody come and kidnap one of your parents and say, you do what I say, otherwise I'll kill him. That's what punishment is for children. Like you confiscate the toys and say to do this. They don't understand why they should do it. They don't see the common sense of it. They just say, you do it because I said so. So the thing is, they grow up and they don't know why they should do something that is good. And now they're trapped in a position where the only way to feel free is to do what is not good.
But what they've been told is good, right?
Yeah. Like, okay, so they don't even want, okay, it's two positions. It's either they're obedient, they want to do what you told them that is good, and that is for the women. Like the women, most of them will be like, okay, they say that is good, I will do it, right? And then you have the rebel, and the rebel it will be men most of the time, but also some women too. And the rebel is they will do the very opposite of what you say is good because they feel free when they do the opposite of what you say. They want to
Mm.
just feel the freedom. So if you say, for instance, take the job, but I don't want to take the job because you say I have to. Because you say I have to, I won't take it. Right? I'm just taking an example. In this case,
Right.
the job, obviously, even if you you don't say it's an obligation, I won't take it anyway. But I'm just taking an example. Like they will always go against what it says to be done as an obligation. That's why you
Mhm.
have the outlaws, like the people who want to go and just fight and I don't know, deal drugs and anything that is not acceptable. They want to do that thing because that's how you feel free. Because anything
Mhm.
else, you feel like you are obliged to do it, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, so that's for punishment, and then you have rewards, and reward is like a corruption of your mind. Like, oh, if you work, you do well in school, you have some A plus, you will have the nice bike that you asked for. So now you are working hard in school, but not for the purpose of understanding something, but just for the bike. So
Mhm.
basically, when you are in a position in the government, when they say, "Oh, just pass this law," if you pass this law, I will give you this brown envelope of 2 million of those. Oh yes, I will do it because you have been trained your whole life to do things for your benefit and not for the fact that it is uh, in itself a good thing to do. So
Right.
parents train kids to become a roted human, but they don't know. They didn't do it from the starting point of, yeah, I want to create a money system where everything works based on corruption. They didn't know better, right? They were doing it just because, oh my God, how can they survive if if you don't learn your lesson? Okay, I will spank you so that you will learn your lesson. So now the kid is grown up and then he is afraid of being spanked. So because of that, he will not do what is ultimately good. He will just do what you tell him to do, as you just said. Yeah,
Mm. So
that's a long,
really,
right?
no, but that's great. I mean, we're having a conversation, right? Like, so this is excellent. So really, I mean, if it's not the point of do what's right because I tell you it's right, or don't do what's wrong because I say it's wrong, then you're trying to teach your kids to make choices and to think for themselves, and then to actually figure out what is the right course of action. Um, is that correct?
Yeah, basically, it's get the kids to know the principle of what is best for all, to understand the principle, not to know as a memorization, but to understand the principle of what is best for all. And for now, the way I put it for the kids, so then they can understand is I don't do what I feel like doing. I do what is best for everybody, including me.
Mm.
So do I do what I want or I do what is best? And they will say, I do what is best. If I ask that question to my kids, I say, do I do what I want or I do what is best? They say, I do what is best. And then I will ask what is best. Then they will give me examples of what is best. Like, for instance, I can just throw the cat food, the croquette of the cat. I can't just throw it away because I feel like I want to throw them away. If I do that, how the cat will eat? If the cat don't eat, it does not eat, will the cat survive? No. Will I be fine if somebody throw my food away? No. So it is not best for anyone to have his food thrown away. So that is the principle. It's do what is best. And you should stand in the shoes of other people. When you make any choice, you should be able to stand in the shoes of another person and say, the effect, the way that this choice affect me
Mhm.
and affect anybody else, I can stand in any of those positions and still be fine with that and still be like, yes, that's the best thing that I did. That's the principle of what is best for all. So you we cannot compromise on that. We have to always and conditionally make the choice that is best ultimately for all. So
Mm.
the kids, when they know that, when they do anything, we just bring it back to that. Is it best? Like, okay, what you did? I hit Chidevi. Why? because he break my thing. Is it best? Uh, no. Why don't you think it's not best? Because I wouldn't like you to hit me, and I wouldn't like GDB to hit me. Oh, yeah, you're right. But you did that. Why? Because I didn't breathe. Oh, okay. So what should you do? I think I would go and apologize to my little brother, and then we'll breathe together. Cool. Problem solved, right? That's how it works in my home. That's how it works. Now, is it so smooth like that 100%? No, they are kids, they're still learning. But that is the standard, right? That is the standard. We have to hold ourselves to that standard. So they are learning to make decisions and choices based on what is best for all, including themselves. Meaning they don't have to sacrifice themselves for the sake of saving others. That's not the point. The point is what is best for everybody, including you, and you don't have to compromise on your principles to make somebody else feel better. No, you ultimately do what's best for all.
So that doesn't mean, though, that what's best for all is always going to be easy or accepted by others, does it?
No. And since you're not doing things for the sake of feeling good, so even though it is hard, it does not feel good, you have to do it because it is best. Because if you don't, you will have consequences, and the consequences will be much harder to go through, right? And kids learn that, like they learn real quick. For instance, um, my younger son will say he will jump from something to the other. I'll be like, it's not a good idea. But I want to do that. Why? Because it is fun. Yes, I know it's fun, but is it best? And then maybe his brother will argue and say, yes, it's best because if he jump, he may learn how to jump and blah, blah. I'm like, yes, but as I'm seeing, it may be some danger here. Okay, so let's make it safer. So I will create a place that it will be safer. Okay, jump. Then he jump. And oh, no, I hurt myself. Okay, it's not like broke a leg or something. Like just a little bit of pain, right? I'm like, yeah, that's what I was talking about, right? So it may be fun in the moment, but it comes with consequence. So it's for you to decide if that consequence you want to take it. And that's how you know if it is best for you. Is the consequence something that you enjoy, you like? No, it is not best. And I'm not saying enjoy from the starting point of feeling good. I'm saying enjoy in the sense that does it bring a value? Does it bring something that is good for you, right? So yeah, sometimes my kids will say he want to eat that big cake at the 10 p.m. Like, not a good idea. And you'll be like, but I want to eat it. I'm like, it is not a good idea. Why? Because it's not best for your system to eat this big giant cake right now. Because if you do that, you will have hard time falling asleep, and you will may have some pain in your stomach. It does not it won't kill you, right? But you will suffer that, and you won't be happy with that. I want to eat it anyway. No problem. You eat some of it, and what I said happened. That's the consequence. So the next time I remind you of that consequence, you're like, okay, you know what I will do? I will eat just a little bit now, and tomorrow I will eat the remaining. Yes, that seems plausible. So kids, they learn by themselves, like, oh, that's how life works. If I make the good choice, I have consequences that is good and best for everybody. If I make bad choices, I have consequences that I have to suffer, have to go through. And now, if the consequences will be bared by somebody else, it's unacceptable. So we still have the unacceptable thing. Like you can just say, "Yeah, I want to cut my brother with this knife," and I'll be like, it's not a good idea. You want to do it? Okay, go ahead and do it, and then we'll see the consequences. No, there are some stuff that it's just unacceptable. No, don't do this. and we can talk about why we can do this. I can show you videos and you will see. Make sure there is no fear. I don't want you to make any decision based on fear, but commonsensically why it does not make sense. Then you understand that. So
Right.
for you, it becomes the foundation of how do I make decision in life.
Right. Wow. You know, I say, like, the kids who are growing up right now with parents like you, who have gone through a process, who have discovered that these things don't work and they're not the right way to do it, and here's a better way, I think are going to be incredible, adults when they grow up, because they're getting the right tools, they're getting the right kind of education and the right kind of role models to look to. Because I don't know what kids are looking to now. I don't have kids. Um, and my nieces and nephews are all pretty much adults now. So I have no idea what kids are really looking to as a role model. But if they can have a parent in a community like this, where they've got people who are really looking out for not only their best interest, but the best interest of everybody, and showing them not just by speech, but in their actions. I think these kids are going to grow up to be incredible adults, and very creative, because I don't see a lot of these kids in the group anyways who are stuck on one idea. They question, they want to find out more, they want to have, they want to kind of create their own decision of something and go, is this really the truth, or is this just something that I've been told?
Yeah, yes. I wanted to say my kids, if I tell them to not do something, they will do it. Or it's one of these two options. If I tell them to not do something, specifically don't do this thing, and I do not explain why to not do it, they will ask me why. And if I tell them why, and my why is not logical and well explained, they will keep questioning the why and keep bringing the objections and say, but this, but that, and they will always be taking it to a bunch of different directions till I make sense of it and they are clear on why they should not do something. Otherwise, they will do it. And if I ask them, didn't I told you to not do this? My son would be like, but if we didn't do it, how would we understand why we shouldn't do it? That's what he would tell me at 3 and 5,
Wow.
3.5, right? So when the kids, and the real key component is the building the vocabulary of the kids, right? That's where some of the tools that we have in the community are extremely important, because when your kids have a very high vocabulary from the get-go, you can't nobody can just tell them BS and they will accept. No, you have to be specific, you have to explain, and it has to make sense. So you have to also work on your own ability to communicate and explain stuff. And you can't just tell them, you can't just lie to them, right? You can't. Even if you even if I wanted to lie to them, I couldn't. Like, I mean, my 3.5, my 23 months, if I want it and I don't want anyway, I'm just making a point. I can lie to him, but the one at 3.5, I can't lie to him, right? The other day I was like, yeah, I'm going somewhere. And I didn't want to tell him where I was going because I know he would say, I want to follow you. But I didn't want him to follow me for whatever reason. Yes, I was going to a restaurant to bring food home, and it it was already late, so I want him to go to sleep because I want to have a night date with my wife, right? So I want the kids to be asleep. We'll have a dinner, me and my wife. It has been a long time. That will be a fun time. So I didn't want to tell him I'm going to a restaurant because now he will say I will stay awake to eat the food, right? So I didn't want to tell him because like, where are you going? Like, um, I'm going in town. He said, in town. Where? I'm going. I have something to do. What? Yeah, I'm going to buy something. What do you want to buy? Like, you know what? I don't really want to tell you. Why? Tell me. Tell me. Now I start banging on. Tell me. Tell me. Tell me. Where are you going? To do what? Where is daddy going? He was asking the question. I'm like, you know why I don't want to tell you? He said, because I will say I want to follow you. And I said, yes. He said, I want to follow you. I want to follow you. You see, is if I can't explain really and make sense and it is clear, he will not let go. And that's the type of human you want in society,
Mm-hmm.
right? You don't want the followers. You don't want just the, oh, yes, take the vaccine. Okay, yes, sir, we take the vaccine. Oh, drink the tap water with this chlorium or whatever in it. Yes, let's drink it. No, they'll ask, why do you put chlorium in it? Why?
Mm-hmm.
What is that for? And they will study it, and then we'll be like, this thing does not actually make sense. You know, that's
Yeah.
the type of human. And you're right when you say these kids growing up with the right tools, with parents challenging themselves to hold themselves to a standard of self-perfection and teaching them that from the get-go. And they are born and they are born into this way of thinking, considering what is best for all. They are the key to sort out these words. They are the key to stop war, poverty, and it's because it won't make sense for them. Why is this guy pushing wars? Oh, because he has a big company where they sell firearms. Oh, but does that is it best for everybody? No. So now we gotta stop this. Ah, but we will lose money. Don't care. We gotta stop this. That is the kids that we are bringing into this world, and that's why it is so important to share this with other people. It's so important. It's so important because if we don't change the system, if we don't make change this money system, and it's actually just a profit system, and it's come down to self-interest only system, which is the ego system. If we don't change that, you see what is happening in some part of the world like Gaza or Ukraine or where they are bombing the hell out of people. It is coming for each one of us. Because why are they bombing people for? Why are they doing that? They are doing that for profit. Just one thing, profit. How can we extract money from reality? How can we, make sure now you can have water? So we have to sell water. Now you can have this land. Now we can sell this land. Like, how can we make more money? That's the whole reason why there are wars and everywhere. So if we don't change that and make money something irrelevant, like just a medium of exchange, and everybody's having fairly and everybody have great life, if we don't change the money system to make it that, we will we are the next Gaza, like England, Canada, the whole world, the entire world. We are the next Gaza, and we have not even bringing yet AI and all the jobs that will be taken away. We are not there yet. So profit is taking everything. So we have to educate new humans that won't care about profit at all, and who will make decisions based on what is actually best for humanity. And that's how we will sort out this work. That's why sharing this with as many people as we can is the purpose.
Okay. But I mean, there like as you're on this path of helping people to be better people, making better decisions, and not being it only for profit and greed, and wanting to do things to help people, people are going to still make money doing it. Correct? I
Yes.
mean, like they're not doing this and saying I'm living on the streets in poverty because I want to do what's best for all, right? There's still going to be people making money from it, but they're maybe their intentions aren't because it's only for money, right? Is this just a
Yeah.
side effect making the money then?
Yeah. Okay. That's a really, really, really good point because when we start talking about doing what is best for all, people are like, oh, okay, so you mean I'll be doing what's best for all? So now I'm not looking for money. And since I'm not going after money, I will be poor, but I will be a good person. Is that what you mean? Is that my rewards? Feeling good because I'm doing what is best for all, but I'm actually broke? No. In when you are in the process of sharing these message and sharing the tool that we have, you make money, and money become the measurement of how many people you are helping. I know a lot of people claim that, a lot of people claim that, but I can be standing in my shoes and say this with confidence that it is the first time in the world that that statement have been true, is being true. Like, if you are sharing this, how much money you have in your bank account is the measurement of how many child you saved, how many parents you saved, how many people you wake up and now they are going after change the money system. If you are not sharing this and you have a lot of money in your bank account, is the measurement of how many people you abuse to keep the money system in place. It can be rude, it can come across rude to some people. It'll be like, you're saying, no matter what I'm doing, if I'm not sharing this, I'm being abusive. Is that what you mean? Well, let's look at it. Because you are in the business, you are working for a company that is making profit, and that company is willing to take the competition out of business in order to be there. So they're
Right.
participating in certain stuff, form of abuse. In the competition world, you have to abuse,
But if
right?
you were doing a business and your whole point is, I want to do the best service and provide the best product that I possibly can to people, um, and your goal is not to take out the competition because the people who are coming to me because I actually have this product or service that they really want and is very useful to them. And it doesn't matter what other people are doing. Does
That's right.
that, right? Is that
But
what I'm hearing? Is like
yes,
it's
now the
offering
question there
something
is,
of value that somebody wants because it is of value, not because it's trying to stop somebody else from making money.
yeah. So that there, the question is, then we have to be very specific and point out to one specific product, right? Have to point to one product that we can imagine. That would be like, yeah. So let's say somebody is giving clean water, right? Like clean water. He's making the best water possible, clean, and make sure he's not making it to be expensive, and he is making sure that people have clean water. Okay, so let's say that.
Mhm.
So then the question becomes, why is it then that clean water is not freely available for everybody? Because the business that you have is exist because the system is broken,
Because
or
other
the
people have
system,
damaged the water, right?
exactly, right? And because of that, you are not taking care of the system in the first place to solve the problem at the root.
Mm.
You are profiting off that damage. And you do not have in yourself that intention of, I'm just taking advantage of the money system. But you know, you know it, you don't know it, it doesn't matter. That's what you're doing. But it's not to make the person feel bad, because anyway, you have to survive. So you have to do something. So you can fish for the the lighter way to abuse, if I may put it that way. Like, I can maybe not use the word abuse and say take advantage of. Right? That is, abuse is the definition of abuse is taking advantage of something. So taking advantage of this little part of the money system that is broken, then you're taking advantage of it. So any product that you can think of fall into that category. Even the tool that we're sharing right now, right? It's taking advantage of that. We have to change the system. But here's the thing: it's the only tool that disrupt the system and solve the problem at the root cause. It does not. And even when the system will be changed, the tool will still be useful, because any kid that is born in this world need education, even if the system is best.
Hmm.
So the, these tools solve humanity's problem at the root cause. It does not mean that if you are selling clean water, drop it. No, people do need clean water. You're helping people to have clean water. Maybe teach them how to have their own clean water, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you don't have to be the one solving that for them. They can take responsibility for it, right? So yeah, that's the point. The point is the statement, how much money you make is the reflection of how many people you truly help. Like, not help them to cope with their own BS, but actually help them to solve the issue at the root cause. It's really true if you are sharing these tools. And now some people say like, yeah, it sounds a little bit like, yeah, it's only my product that is good, and any other product is not good, and blah blah blah. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you want to change the money system, if you want to solve any problem at the root cause, you have to educate people. And if you want to educate people, it has to be education in the principle of self-perfection. Because if it's not in the principle of self-perfection, it's just like, um, you still have problems to solve. You will still always have flaws into it because you are not looking at solving all the different flaws. You are just trying to improve things instead of changing them to make sure it is best. And it is possible. We proved it. Like when you take, for instance, the Cope family, you see the self perfection there. Like, you look at the kids, you look at this kid, Maximus Cope. He's 8 years old. Now he built his own chemistry laboratory, and he will take a stack of 8 books and read them like in 2 days and process them. Still be a kid and really doing what is best for all and being very creative, and is pushing all the boundaries that you can think of. You go to the Titi ranch, you will have the cows are there, they're well fed, they're grass fed. And when you want to have food, all the food is almost homemade, and almost all of them is organic and very good. And the father is uh, building a business that is supporting a bunch of people to have their own family and support them to give the best education to them. So they're having everything that you can imagine and ever dream of while helping others to solve the problem. So it is possible. So if I'm doing that, and you are doing that, and the other guy is doing that, the other guy is doing that, it's a matter of time. The whole world is heaven,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So how that wouldn't be the dream life of anyone,
Mm.
that you will sleep better at night when you shared this with, like, I don't know, 5 people in your day, and you are on your bed, and then you feel good about your day. You you feel good about your day, and your bank account is full too, so you can have both.
Right. So what would you say to somebody who's a single person who doesn't have a spouse, a husband or wife, or doesn't have children? Maybe their family isn't around, or they don't have a good relationship with their family. What would you say to that person?
So two things are extremely important in this system, and it's money and relationship, right? So relationship, you can't live in you can't live alone. You can't live in isolation. That's the word I'm looking for. You can't live in isolation. You really need human connection, and having a significant other is major. Like, it is extremely important because you do need that connection. And when you study some of the materials that we have in this community, you will see that a man is is made to blend with another woman, and the woman is made to blend with another man. That's why we have two hemispheres, right? You have the right and the left, and uh, and the other is kind of empty. You know, the other hemisphere is kind of not empty. It's like a platform. You have a platform here, you have a platform here, and here, this platform, if you are you, this platform here, let's say it is you and everything that you believe about yourself and all that, and then you have this platform that is empty, and you need that second person to be there, and then you can be kind of feel complete. That's it's the system that have been built in, and that's how we feel complete. And if we don't have that, we do not actually feel complete, right? We do not feel complete. And people will be like, yes, before to get into a relationship, make sure you are good with yourself and everything is good. That is right. But it does not mean that you will be satisfied with that, because physically you're not complete, right? So you need that relationship. It is important. That's the first thing. And also, building that relationship support you to work your own process, support you to face the reason why you are single in the first place, right? You have to face those points. Maybe it's traumas that come from early childhood, uh, maybe something in the high school or whatever, right? Happen, and all of that make you make decision and be like, and maybe it's unconscious decisions, subconscious decisions, but it made decisions. You're like, fuck this. Don't want any of this. I'm complete. I'm good by myself. Fuck you all. Excuse my French. So maybe, so you have to face that. And some people say, you come into this world, you have point to face, you have lesson to learn. I know it's all bullshit, but there's some truth in it. Maybe you were here the third time just to transcend that single point. And anytime you come here, you always end up being alone. And then you say, oh, fuck, I didn't work this point out. Okay, let me go back. Then you go back, you come back, and then your parents brainwashed you and you forgot that you have been here before. And then you tried to solve this point and you didn't solve it. You went back and you come back and you keep repeating the same thing. Now, here's the thing. This life is a life. You have to take it as your last chance. It's your last opportunity to solve those points, right? And think about the good or the fulfillment in having an actually good relationship where the two people are aligned in alignment based on principle, based on agreement, and have a purpose of changing the world and doing what is best and living in principle, where love is not this fleeting feeling that come and go, but more of like being in agreement of doing always what is best for both of you and for the world. And in that agreement, you feel fulfilled. And then you see yourself in the role of maybe bringing another human in the world, and maybe seeing that human being grow and become transcending all the point that you would like to transcend. You'd be like, oh my God, like look the amazing human that we've created. So that is the pinnacle of fulfillment of a human being. And if you 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 refuse that and you decide to not go that road, you are harming yourself. Really, you are harming yourself. And maybe you say, I'm happy like that, but really, maybe not, right? So I would say that, and about families and stuff, and always trying to have the hard conversations, always, not never run away from a difficult conversation. Like
Mm.
my father, when I was in my mom's when I was in the womb, my father gave my mom a bunch of pills to abort, right? And it didn't work. I'm here.
Well, that's a good thing. You can't make a difference if you're not here.
You see, so when I was born, before I was born, my mom and my father was having this argument where my father was saying, this is not my child. You like too much to make babies. You're always making babies. Um, because he didn't want to take the responsibility, obviously, because of all the pressure from his job and all of that. And, it was too much to bury for him. I was the third child, and he was like, it's too much. I don't want that many child. He ended up having like 15 kids. Anyway,
My goodness.
but I was the third, and he was, no, this is too much for me. He wanted my mom to abort.
Oh,
And he never have any conversation with me about it. But I was digging in my process that I start asking questions, and my mom told me some of the stories, and I confronted my father on it, and my goal was not to make him feel bad. It was not my goal. My goal was to understand the pressure that he was feeling in him. Because if he has any thought, any feelings, any emotions, obviously it has been transmitted to me through my DNA. And I have to deal with that all that shit into me. Right?
right.
So instead of staying in isolation with my father, I had to go there and we clear that out and talk it out and make sure that I understand fully where he was coming from. Uh, Forgive myself for all the judgment, all the blame that I put on him, and take full responsibility for myself and say, okay, I have an opportunity here. I could have been dead and not been here. Now I'm here. I'm a gift of life. What am I going to give back to life? You know? So
Right.
if you have families that you are not talking with because of something, part of your process is to forgive yourself
Mm.
for everything and stand in their shoes and forgive them and understand them and then talk to them from that starting point. And everything just, it does not mean like magically they will be like, oh, everything is fantastic now. No, not necessarily, but at least you would have tried, right? At least you would have done that. And it does not mean like, oh, I tried now. Okay, it's on you now. I'm leaving. No, just be like, you don't act anymore based on the disagreement
Mm.
because inside of you it is solved. Even though they don't want to see you, you are there in their face and having food with them and not giving them shit about uh, how they are feeling about it because it is solving you. You don't have any issue with that, and you can stand them even if they can't stand you, right?
Right.
So yeah, that would be what I would say. Like relationship with significant others, relationship with family are very, very, very important. Now, if they don't want to hear the message of doing what is best for all, if they don't want to participate, that's okay too. But you will be in their face, being an example up until the moment where they realize that it's
Mhm.
actually a good thing and decide to join you. So yeah, I wouldn't live in isolation. No, never.
Yeah. Wow. Great. Well, I know it's getting late for you there, and I really appreciate your time. I just have one more thing I wanted to ask you. Um, if you were to go back to your 10-year-old self, what advice would you give yourself?
Um, my 10, my 10 years old.
So if you were 10 years old, what would you like to tell yourself? What would you like to have known?
Uh, um, so when I was 10, it was in 2001. I will tell myself to never forget that I'm here to change the system. Like if even now, if I die now, when I will come back, I want to be reminded that. You understand? Like
Mhm.
I want to be born in a family that has technotutor, that is in self-effective, that I want to be born in one of those families. That's why that's actually, and this may sound silly for people. They'll be like, okay, those guys are really crazy. Maybe people will say that, but only crazy people want to change the word for a better to be like a heaven on earth. My goal is to change the system, and if I died in the process, I want to come back in a family that has technotutor. So for that reason, I have to put it in a bunch of hands. I have to make sure it's in so many homes that I diminish the odds that I wouldn't fall into a family that had that. So to my 10 years old, like make sure you go straight to set direction. Like make sure you go there. Make sure this is part of your journey. You are here to change the system. And don't forget that. Like don't forget that. So no matter what's happened to you right now, it's all fine. But you are here to change the system. And you are here to and there are tools. And it depends on how many hours I have with that 10 year old little guy. But yeah, like you have to meet this person. You have to meet this group, and you have to do this thing. This is why you are here. Because what else? What else should I be here for? Like look at the state of the world. Look at the state of the world. And it does not mean like I have all this burden. I'm in the night. I'm crying because there are wars in Congo and there are wars in Africa and there are wars in Russia and Ukraine and there are wars in and then look at AI is coming. No, it's not like that. I'm having fun and I'm enjoying my life and I know I will be millionaire and I know I will really bring something to this world and I'm very happy about it. I'm very passionate about it. It does not cause in me any anxiety whatsoever. But that is my purpose, right? That is the most fulfilling thing that I can do. So it's to remind my 10-year-old me that you are here to change the system. That's where you will have everything out of your life, in life that you desire. That is for me.
Wow. Incredible. Thank you so much.
You're
I
very welcome.
I appreciate your time tonight, Gaeten. I know you're up late because I know your wife has gone to bed a long time ago.
And I really, really, really appreciate the conversation, and thank you for this conversation. And yes, let's keep growing and changing the world.